But let's get back to this new business owner we're going to meet in Naples. Actually, we're going to FSW's Collier County campus because he's a professor there. And his story is a little bit different than the stories we've heard so far because his business has been up and running for a while. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to tell his backstory, and it is one you are not going to forget. And then after we tell his story, we're going to do an interview with him to talk about some of the ways that he raised money to start his new business and some of the interesting research he did to get a better handle on how he could be successful. So we're pulling up to FSW now. Let's go in. There are two things I want to tell you about Fabio Tagliasacchi right off the bat. The first is what happened to him about 13 years ago when he went to the ER with heart problems.
At that time, I learned that I was very allergic to nitroglycerin. They gave it to me, and I died. I flatlined. I died for 26 seconds.
That would eventually give him the idea for a new business. But it's the second thing about Fabio that made the idea a reality.
In 1955, I had polio. My parents were wonderful. The focus was not on what I could not do. The focus was always on what I could do. Because of that experience and because of them, you develop determination, a will to focus, to move forward.
Fabio sees the world as a series of problems to solve. He's an author, a math professor at Florida Southwestern State College. Awesome! And about 4 years ago, the day after doing a 5K, he started having chest pains once again.
It is common for a first responder to give people with a cardiac issue in the moment with pain nitroglycerin. What I realized at that point is that if I'd not been able to share that knowledge that I had about the nitroglycerin and my personal health, that was going to have a dramatic impact on my survivability.
As he recovered, Fabio couldn't help but wonder about the people who aren't able to give important medical information to first responders. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is when you were in the beginning stages of creating a business to do this, you were raising money and you did that in a somewhat unique way, at least compared to some of the other business owners in our series. You went out and I guess did some crowdsourcing, right?
Oh, the Kickstarter campaign.
Right, yeah.
Right. Well, in the beginning, everything was self-funded and we were basically, laying it out there, right? My partner and I. And somewhere along the way, we decided to do a Kickstarter program. One of my mentors said, Fabio, not only will it raise a little bit of money, but it'll probably get a little traction, a little public awareness that you wouldn't normally get. So the Kickstarter program, we ran one. It was successful. We put a very low limit on it. It wasn't really about raising a lot of money, but we were successful with the limit that we had put, and it did exactly that. It did start to bring some traction, some awareness out in public of people that we don't directly impact, outside of our social sphere, as it were, right? But it was a very good vehicle, and I would recommend it to other entrepreneurs, but not just for the money, but to build some traction and some awareness about their product and to get some feedback.
Yeah, and then that was a huge part, the feedback, right? I mean, it sounds like that's something that you continue doing today.
Every day. That feedback from not just the members, that's critical, but also all the professionals involved and all the families. If I would share with you the private emails that I got from families, grandma fell down and thank goodness she was a member and they came and they saw that right away. She was having a minor stroke. Again, I don't want to divulge who these people are, but the stories that I get, it's so rewarding. Immediately when I'm done hearing that or reading it, I'm calling Alex, going, Alex, we did good today. Someone is alive and doing better because of what we have created. And that's a jazz, because again, if that's your mission, not the money part, but to save lives or to make life easier, when it actually happens and you get that feedback, if that doesn't make you smile, then nothing will, brother.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's gone way past just solving a mathematical problem. It's much more meaningful now, right?
Absolutely. Life and death meaningful.
So a pretty incredible story there. And one of the things that really sticks out about Fabio is how hard he works to continually improve his product. And he promised us there will be some new tech soon. So we'll get an update on how he's doing in a little bit.